CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Jack Del Rio brought the Raiders in on Friday night, a day earlier, to try to adjust to the time change here in Detroit in his first season as the Raiders head coach. And for the Lions, Jim Caldwell, his second year, 11-5 last year, made the playoffs, struggling this year at 2-7, but coming off the big win against Green Bay. Oakland won the coin toss. They have deferred, so Detroit will start with the football. Sebastian Janikowski will kick it away to the dangerous Amir Abdullah, who last week had a 104-yard kick return that did not go for a touchdown, tied for the longest non-scoring play in NFL history. And he's going to take this one from 9 yards deep. Abdullah, and he gets across the 20, and that's where Detroit will start with the football, led by seventh quarterback Matthew Stafford. 15 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions, tied for the second most in the NFL. Only Peyton Manning has thrown more.
And this is a team that really relies on Matthew Stafford more than any team in the NFL does on quarterback. They don't run the ball well at all, but he's going up against a Raiders pass defense, gives up over 290 yards a game. That's a good matchup for the Lions pass game.
On 1st and 10, the Lions will have Theo Riddick in the backfield. And it's a play action. Stafford fires, and it's caught by Golden Tate. Flag comes in. Tate dragged down at the 42-yard line, but we'll have our first penalty of the day. The referee is Cleet Blakeman.
As you heard us say in the open, this has all the earmarks of a game that the quarterbacks are going to throw the football all over the field. As you said, Detroit, number 32 in the league at running the football. They've got to throw it to win, and the Raiders score 30 points a game on the road. So this is a high-scoring affair, it looks to be.
There is no foul for defensive holding on the play because the pass was released prior to the contact. There's all the play stage, first down.
And with that pass, Matthew Stafford has just moved into 75th all-time in passing yards, passing Steve Berline. You're out. I'm sorry. I'm surprised they're not stopping the game to acknowledge this major milestone.
I was hoping it up in the top 75. No more, huh?
Down to 76. I'm sorry. Stafford has moved past you with that 19-yard completion. And here's a run for the Lions on 1st and 10. It's Abdullah up to midfield. As we take a look at the starting lineup for the Lions, a new right tackle, Michael Ola, starts in favor of Adrian Waddle, who's actually inactive today. That's a coach's decision. And Lance Moore scored the game-winning touchdown in Green Bay last week.
He's got 25 receptions on the year. He starts when they go 3 wide receivers, but they need to chip in from all their receivers on this squad. They're going to have to throw the football to win, despite what we saw there on 1st down with a 9-yard run.
2nd down and 1. Back to Abdullah. And he's got the 1st down. Take a look at the Oakland defense, and as we mentioned in the open, they're going to give a lot of different looks without Aldon Smith. We've got a 4-3 here with Mario Edwards coming off the edge and Khalil Mack also edge rusher, but they could show some 3-4 looks as well, which would move their personnel around. And in the secondary, what else can you say about Charles Woodson?
Yeah, the ageless one, almost 40 years old, 5 interceptions in the year, playing at a high level, fighting through a shoulder injury right now as well, gutting it out.
We have some movement and another penalty.
Looks like movement was simultaneously on both sides. We'll see which one. If the offense reacted to the defense in the neutral zone.
False start, offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
And that's on the right tackle, Michael Ola, in just his 3rd game with the Lions. He played majority of the snaps last week in Green Bay, even though Waddle started, but Jim Caldwell and Jim Bob Cooter, the offensive coordinator, made a change this week with Ola getting the nod at right tackle. So the penalty makes it 1st down and 15. Stafford looking to throw. Checks down to Riddick at midfield. Riddick makes a couple of moves, and Riddick across the 40, and he's got Lions 1st down. They needed 15, and they get 16.
Well, great job by Matthew Stafford identifying the coverage before the snap. You heard him yell out 52. That was the play he wanted for this zone look, and then the rest is Riddick catching the ball in a nice little soft spot and feeling where the pressure's coming from, getting north and south as soon as he had a chance, and having a nice pickup to convert the first down.
46th catch this season by Riddick, who's a running back. That's second on the team. On the carry here inside the 35-yard line, and Charles Woodson on the tackle for the Raiders.
Coming into this, we've spoken about how difficult it's been for both these defenses to make hay. And you see Charles Woodson, this is a pass defense that has really struggled. And now with this early start, you think both these clubs offensively are going to think they're going to have their way with this defense. And on the early going, Detroit having a really impressive drive to start this game.
Raiders defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. is going to shift a lot of personnel today as the Raiders try to figure out how to move on without Aldon Smith. On 2nd and 7, Stafford looking deep, and he's got his man inside the 15. That's Lance Moore on the reception. Woodson makes the tackle, but a good-looking drop for the Lions right out of the gate.
Matthew Stafford is truly a very unique talent throwing the football. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks that can stick that ball in that hole like Matt Stafford just did right there. It was a beautiful throw. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. His arm strength and his accuracy, the way that ball comes out of his hand, very, very, very few quarterbacks in the NFL can make the type of throws that he can consistently.
On this drive, Stafford 3 for 3 for 56 yards. And now the Lions in red zone, and Joy Bell in at running back. Bell on the carry inside the 10, and he gets the 8-yard line. The Lions have just 2 rushing touchdowns all season, which is the second fewest in the NFL behind the Jaguars, and they've not scored a rushing touchdown since week 3.
And you look, there's Jim Caldwell. He's got to be happy with the way this first drive is at least starting out. But this is a team in Raiders, and without Aldon Smith, they're still probably trying to find their identity, particularly up front. That speaks in the running game and their run defense, and their ability to man up on that offensive line.
Abdullah lined up in the slot as a wide receiver on the bottom of your screen. Stafford to the 4-yard line. The catch is made by Tate. It's going to be a couple yards shy of a first down. Malcolm Smith on the stop for the Raiders, and it's 3rd 2.
It's interesting because normally the Lions are doing nothing right here except throwing the football, but given their success on this drive, they may see something. So I think it's a coin flip. I like Stafford with the ball in his hand finding Calvin Johnson down here.
The problem is, we talked to Matthew Stafford about that. They expect Calvin Johnson to get doubled in the red zone. Look for the tight end, Eric Ebron, as a secondary kind of guy for Matthew Stafford.
Raiders have allowed 10 touchdowns to opposing tight ends this season. Stafford to Abdullah, makes the catch, falls down, and he's tackled by Ben Heaney. And it looks like it's going to be good for a first down.
What a great effort by Abdullah. You see the way he kind of was with the worm on his back there out in the flat. He caught the ball, had to really sell out. That ball was thrown hard by Matthew Stafford. Look at him just kind of squirming. That second effort is what gave them the first down.
And Lions fans have wanted to see more of Amir Abdullah. He's had some ball security issues, but Jim Caldwell told us this week they're going to ramp him up a little bit more in this game. And we've seen a lot of him on this opening drive. Now 1st and goal with Bell in at run back. It's Bell trying to force his way through up the middle. And Bell is tackled at the 1. Khalil Mack in on the stop for the Raiders.
Yeah, he's going to just push it in. This is where your back, Joy Bell, is just going to find a crease and try and get his head down. Mack does a nice job of getting in there. Still 1 yard on a red zone run is good.
To get to the line quickly, give it to Bell. Flag is down. He is tackled for a 1-yard loss, and now we'll see what the penalty is. Nate Allen and T.J. Carey make the tackle for the Raiders.
Holding offense number 72. 10-yard penalty, 3 for second down.
That's a big penalty against the rookie left guard, Laken Tomlinson. 3rd time this year he's been penalized for holding.
You see right there, he's getting good penetration, or he's giving up good penetration inside. He was trying to find a way to get his back out the outside, but definitely guilty of being a little bit late up the ball. Got caught with the holding penalty.
So that moves the Lions back to the 11-yard line. Long opening drive. Stafford is 5 for 5, but not one of those completions is to Calvin Johnson as of yet. Stafford looking end zone, and it is juggled and incomplete. Ebron had a beat on that one, but he could not bring it in.
Well, that's a ball that Ebron's got to make that catch, but perfectly thrown by Matthew Stafford. This is the Lions team that very, very good inside the red zone all year. Number 3 ranked team. That ball you can see right on the money. Ebron's got to pull it in.
And that's been a big problem for him this year. He drops 9.8% of the passes thrown to him. That's tied for the highest among NFL tight ends with Tyler Eifert of the Bengals. And another drop here for Ebron makes it 3rd and goal. Stafford, and that pass is broken off. Good coverage by David Amerson.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I disagree with Stafford's decision. Calvin Johnson is one-on-one on the backside, runs a skinny post and comes wide open on the seam. Stafford never looks at him. He chooses to go to the other side, and that is absolutely snapped off by Amerson. What a fantastic defensive play. I can't believe they didn't try to get the football to Calvin Johnson once down in this red zone trip, and that's why he ended up 2 and 7.
So instead, it's Matt Prater on for a 29-yard field goal attempt. Has not missed a field goal this year. He's 10 for 10, and now 11 for 11. One of just 6 kickers in the league not to miss a field goal yet. Lions with a long drive, but they only get 3. 13-play drive took up 7 minutes and 6 seconds. That's not the longest drive this season for the Lions, but pretty close. Their longest is 7 minutes and 14 seconds, and on that drive, Matt Stafford 5 of 7 for 62 yards, including the drop touchdown by Eric Ebron. Detroit has to settle for a field goal. So here's Prater to kick it away. And Tywan Jones out of the end zone. Oakland will start at the 20 when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest, Transparency, low fares, nothing high. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. And by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile, only on Verizon.
Back in Detroit, first of 3 straight home games for the Lions. That'll cover a span of 11 days, including Thanksgiving coming up Thursday. Derek Carr, 21 touchdowns, tied for the 3rd most in the NFL. And Oakland will start this drive at the 20. Carr looking to throw right out of the gate, dumps it down. Olawale, he's got some room. Olawale with a first down. Still going at the 35-yard line, and finally dragged down. Jameis Olawale with a gain of 15. So we look at the Oakland offensive line news for the Raiders. Rodney Hudson did not play last week because of an ankle injury. Questionable today, but he is starting at center. And Amari Cooper leads all rookies in catches, yards, and touchdowns.
Such a bright young star in this league. Really a guy to watch. Has become the go-to guy for Derek Carr, and he seems to always come up with the big play when they need it.
22.
Here's Latavius Murray to the 40, puts his head down, gets to the 41-yard line. Detroit defensively, Ziggy Ansah tied for 5th in the NFL with 7 sacks on the season. The leading tackler is the 10th-year linebacker Stephen Tulloch. He's at 67 tackles this year. And Nevin Lawson went through the concussion protocol all week, injured last week in Green Bay, but he's able to start today.
Yeah, and it's only his 2nd start of his career. His first start was in Kansas City week 8, and then over the bye week he started in Green Bay and back on the field.
On 2nd and 4, Carr's pass is incomplete. A little too quick there for Michael Crabtree. You should also point out that tight end Lee Smith is not playing today. He had surgery on his wrist on Tuesday, but Jack Del Rio hopes he'll be back next week.
Well, Jack Del Rio was hopeful he could play this week, and I don't know. Yeah. Surgery on Tuesday. I'm kind of taking some time off myself, but Lee Smith really wanted to play and actually practiced on Saturday.
That would have been impressive. A tight end who has to block or catch the football having wrist surgery, that'd be a tough call.
Raiders 7th in the NFL, 44% on 3rd downs this year. They swing it to Jones, and he drops it. A flag comes down. They're saying it was backwards, so Jones is still going. reversing field, and Jones is tackled short of a first down. Again, a penalty flag down at the 44-yard line.
Those are the passes you just got to complete. You got to give your guy a chance. And I don't know, Jones just couldn't pull that in. It was not a bad throw.
Our referee, Cleet Blakeman, going over to discuss things with Jim Caldwell.
You got to decline this if it's against the Raiders.
Pass interference, offense. That penalty decline brings up fourth down.
Yeah, since Jones was tackled short of the marker, Caldwell declines, and Oakland will send out
the foul was
its
on 81. 81 on the offense.
Well, what happens is, and all the teams are running these quick bubble screens. This actually happens to be the back. The players out front cannot go downfield and block before the ball is in the air or completed, and that's what happened. The Raiders wide receivers on the left side were making contact with the defenders before the ball was even thrown. That's interference.
Penalty on Michael Rivera, who's starting today over Lee Smith, the tight end who had surgery on his wrist on Tuesday. Here's Marquette King to boot it away, and Golden Tate moves up to the 15-yard line. And Tate tackled just shy of the 25 with 6:01 to go in the first quarter. 3-0 Lions. Thursday, December 3rd, your weekend starts here. Great rivalry game. The Packers and Lions. Detroit just won at Green Bay last week. Thursday night football, December 3rd on CBS and NFL Network. Last time Detroit swept a season series, the Packers 1991. That'll be right here in a couple weeks on CBS and NFL Network. 6:01 to go in the first. 3-0 Detroit. Stafford on first down. And there's Calvin Johnson's first catch of the day. He gets 9 yards. His 55th catch of the season. Well, we mentioned this before. Eric Ebron has dropped nearly 10% of the passes thrown his way. This last week in Green Bay, Ebron struggled, could not bring it in, and then today in the end zone drops a touchdown, and that's a 4-point swing as the Lions had to settle for a field goal. Second down and 1 for Detroit. Joyce Bell trying to fight his way forward, and that is going to be short. We're going to go back to New York. Our first NFL Today update with JB and Tony Gonzalez.
Washington answers back.
Yeah, they answer back in a big way, JB. Right here, John Jackson's going to get the pass from Cousins. 56 yards later, he hits pay dirt. We're all nut up. 7-7 in that first quarter.
Andrew Catalan, Steve Tasker, and Steve Bryan.
JB, thank you. Redskins playing better of late. Carolina still undefeated. And you look at the standings in the NFC East. Everyone's still alive in that division. Third down and 1 for the Lions. Play action to Bell. Stafford dumps it down to Bell, makes the catch, has the first down. Bell puts a move on. And Joyce Bell shoved out by Malcolm Smith in Oakland territory. Good second effort by Bell. He picks up 18.
I really like the play call by Jim Bob Cooter right here. The Raiders playing the run. It was third and a very short, probably foot or foot and a half. And Matt Stafford comes out with a hard play action. He wanted to hit Calvin Johnson down the field, but did a great job getting through his progression, finding Bell out in the flat, and Bell did the rest. Nice move, took it for a big gain.
Lofton with this tackle. And now as we approach 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Lions are back in Raiders territory on 1st and 10. Stafford slant to Johnson. First down and more. Calvin Johnson to the 32-yard line. Tackled by Charles Woodson. That's interesting. Johnson and Woodson, 2 future Hall of Famers, but a gain of 16.
Well, it's just a quick slant route. You can see when he gets the ball in his hand, it takes more than one guy to tackle him. That's what you got to do. Get him the ball fast. If they're going to double team him, if the safety's not right there, squeeze the ball in there.
And Charles Woodson told us yesterday, he said, hey, every team has guy you've got to stop. Well, Calvin Johnson is their guy. We cannot let him beat us. So far, he's made 2 big plays.
10th play this quarter that the Lions are running in Oakland territory. Stafford back to the air. Good protection by his line here in the first quarter. And he's going to keep it himself. Stafford chased out by Heaney at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, and that's when that really puts pressure on the defense. As Stafford turns it, of course, as soon as he crossed the line of scrimmage, there was no threat of a pass, but you got guys in the secondary running all over the place. These defenders are going to try and latch on to guys. Once the play breaks down, you just got to pick a guy and grab him, and the Raiders do a nice job of that. Stafford getting some positive yards out of the scramble. Good job by the front of Oakland, but they've got to keep Stafford in the pocket.
Stafford picks up 5. It's 2nd 5, and now Abdullah, the rookie. And Abdullah spins his way for a first down. 4 fumbles on the season's only lost 1, but that has limited his time on offense. In fact, just 6 carries in the last 2 games combined, but already 3 carries for 18 yards today for the rookie out of Nebraska.
We spoke to Jim Caldwell. He also alluded to the fact that they may not be so confident in his ability to pick up blitz. Not that he doesn't step to the right guy, but some guys are good blockers, some aren't. I don't think they have the faith that Abdullah is going to be able to stop anybody if they get to go one-on-one on pass protection.
Back to the rookie. And he gets the 20, not much more than that. The Lions only average 66 yards rushing per game. That's dead last in the NFL. And they throw the ball 69% of the time. No team throws it more than Jim Bob Cooter, who's the offensive coordinator, and this Lions offense. 3rd game for Cooter as the offensive coordinator after Joe Lombardi was fired. Jim Caldwell could not say enough great things about Jim Bob Cooter. Thinks he's one of the smartest men that he's come across in his time in the NFL. 2nd and 9. Stafford's in a shot deep end zone, and it's incomplete. Diving attempt by Abdullah.
Yeah, that's a running back trying to hit the deep ball. You know, watch as Abdullah at the top of your screen, when he gets up deep, you see how he turns and runs? He ran 15 yards with his eyes back to quarterback. He got to turn and get it in gear. You can't run fast with your looking backwards.
That was a play Matthew Stafford talked to us about yesterday in our meeting, or Friday in our meeting. One-on-one, they were going to flex Abdullah out and see if they could get him matched up on a linebacker right there. They had him on Heaney. They had what they wanted. They just didn't execute.
So instead, it's 3rd down and 9. Raiders defense trying to force Detroit to another field goal. Stafford in trouble, and he's sacked. Benson Mayowa with his first sack of the season. He's one of the guys you're going to see more of now that Aldon Smith has been suspended.
And it couldn't have happened at a better time for the Raiders. Just coming off, right off the backside, goes up, and then under Riley Reef and gets the sack. That's what happens when your quarterback doesn't have his first read and pulls it down. The sack is always a possibility. Reef.
So here's Prater from 41, and Prater now 2 for 2 in this opening quarter. Lions have dominated time of possession and yards so far in this first quarter. They only had 6 points to show for it. Detroit leads 6-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Available now. And by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Ready for Christmas here in Detroit. That's a 33-foot tree from Dutchman Tree Farms here in Michigan. Looks beautiful at Ford Field. A long drive for the Lions. 10 plays, took up over 5 minutes, but just a field goal. It's 6-0 Detroit. Sam Martin kicks it away, and here's Tywan Jones. It's actually Seth Roberts on the return, and Roberts a rare kick return across the 15 to the 16. That's where Oakland will start when we come back. 27 seconds left in the first quarter. In conjunction with the NFL Salute Service Campaign, the Lions donated $150,000 to Goodwill's Operation Good Jobs program. This program helps military veterans and their families find employment. The veterans served through this grant were placed in a transitional career opportunity at Red Truck Fresh Produce. 27 seconds left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Just their 5th play of the quarter. And they go on the ground to Owali, who pushes the pile across the 20-yard line. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. And that is the end of the first quarter. The Lions lead at 6-0. We'll return to Detroit after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. The Lions ran 20 plays in the first quarter. Oakland just 5. It's Raiders football, 2nd 4 as we start the second quarter. It's a give to Latavius Murray. And Murray trying to bounce it to the outside. And he's going to be right at the sticks. It looks to be good enough for a first down. So we take a look at some of the numbers from the first quarter and time of possession. Raiders had the ball for just over 2 minutes, but again, a big win here in the sense that they held the Lions to 2 field goals.
Yeah, it's enormous. The Lions had 8 red zone snaps, came away with 6 points.
Murray did pick up the first down. They go back to Murray on 1st and 10, and Murray is tripped up. Good pressure by Kyrie Thornton, playing in his first game for the Lions. We go back to New York for our second update of the day. JB and Tony Gonzalez.
Washington hanging right there.
Yes, they do. After a touchdown pass by Cam Newton to Mike Tolbert, this kickoff return, he takes it to the house. Andre Roberts, 99 yards later to tie the score up, 14-14.
Andrew, Steve, and Steve.
Guys, thank you. And speaking of kick returners, the Raiders' Tywan Jones suffered a knee injury in the first quarter. His return is questionable. Carr fires, caught by his tight end, Clive Walford. The rookie picks up 18, first down for Oakland.
This Clive Walford is a heck of a young player, but what a throw by Derek Carr. Look at him thread that thing in, but he made it very clear to us the 2 times we've spoken to him this year. He believes Clive Walford is going to be a tremendous tight in this league. He's already got 3 touchdowns. That's only his 11th of the year, but he's got 3 touchdowns, including one last week.
The only rookie with more touchdowns than Walford this year is Amari Cooper, his teammate. Cooper yet to have a catch. It's Murray, and Murray across the 45. You know, this Oakland offense with the weapons we highlighted earlier, Crabtree, Cooper, and Walford emerging. Latavius Murray sometimes can kind of get lost in the shuffle, but we spoke to Derek Carr last night, and he said, I have confidence that I can give the ball to Murray 4 times in a game, and he can handle it.
And he wouldn't be upset about it either. That's these young guys, they just want to win. Nobody's really begging for the football or complaining when they don't get it. This is a team that's really intriguing and a lot of fun to watch.
Owali in at running back. Good job up front. Ball came out, but Owali's forward progress had been stopped.
It's interesting there hadn't been a whistle blown, but the forward progress was ruled stopped.
It feels that the runner's forward progress was stopped. Brings up third down.
Yeah, that was very late in the play. And I think it's the right call. One of the other things we were talking about this offense, about Amari Cooper, David Carr, Latavius Murray. You mentioned it in the open, Steve. Bill Musgrave really brought some things to this offense that has made them more effective, more efficient, and given them a chance to stay on the field a lot more than they were able to a year ago.
3rd down and 4. Raiders 0 for 1 on 3rd downs, and the play clock expires.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Slope down.
There's really no excuse for that. And Jack Del Rio not only disappointed his quarterback, probably disappointed in himself, because in this day and age, coaches now can call timeout from the sideline. The coordinator, Bill Musgrave, the quarterback coach, Todd Downing, or Jack Del Rio, one of them should have been aware of that and been in the official's ear, because 3rd and 4 is a heck of a lot from the 3rd and 9.
That's the 29th pre-snap penalty against the Raiders this season, the 4th most in the NFL. Those are unforced errors. Carr looking for Crabtree, makes the catch as he inbounds. Yes, he was. Great grab by Michael Crabtree, picks up 15 and the first down.
Now they're waving it off. Crabtree lost the ball out of bounds. It came out very late. And you know, this has been the topic of discussion all over the league. You got to get up, and right there where the ball pops out of his hand, that's incomplete. There's no question about it. You've got to finish the process. And if you lose control of that football before you almost hand it to the official, it's incomplete.
Well, the first official was overruled because they initially signaled catch. And the other official came in and said that he did not have possession.
Well, this is so late that the first official is making sure his feet are in bounds, sees him go out, comes up to get the spot, and it's the one from behind our camera that sees the ball come loose.
No challenge to this point from Jack Del Rio. Marquette King out for his second punt. Good punt by King. And Tate falls at the 11. Great coverage by the Raiders. A 48-yard punt and just a 2-yard return. Back in Detroit, let's bring our officiating expert Mike Carey. And Mike, back in New York, what did you see on that last third down play by Crabtree that was ruled incomplete?
Yes, and so this is one of those technical calls, but the rule is if the receiver is upright, which means that the contact by the defender happens after the second step, then he's considered to be upright, and then going to the ground does not count in that situation. If I was in the booth, I would have called that a catch.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mike. We had a great debate here as Abdullah carries up the middle for the Lions, and I was a little surprised that Jack Del Rio didn't challenge that play.
I was too. We got a little heated up here in the booth. We were all disagreeing because the rule states through the fall, everything else. But I agree that he got the 2 feet in, took another step, and then was forced to the ground. So the catch was already completed.
Well, the people here in Detroit saw Calvin Johnson lose a Bears game on the exact play in the end zone where he stuck the ball on the ground. It came loose. It was incomplete. That's what happened on the sideline.
But he was going to the ground when he made the catch. He had not completed.
Oh, yeah, he had.
Well, I think that was a catch, too. You're right.
All right, Mike Harry, we appreciate it. As Stafford looking for a deep shot to Calvin Johnson, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by T.J. Carey, the second-year corner out of Ohio.
We said in the open that this was going to be a game where it fit right into what the Lions have been doing all season. They haven't run the football very well, although on their opening drive they made some real good plays. This is a game about Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, Lance Moore, and Gold Tate. Those are the guys that are going to carry the offense, and you know that because this defense for the Raiders can't hang with them.
Matt Stafford this year has really struggled on third down too. 46.1% success, or his quarterback rating, 31st in the league.
They run it here to Tate, trying to get to the outside, and he's not going to get there. Nate Allen doing a great job defensively for the Raiders, playing in just his third game of the season because of injury.
Well, they lined him up at a tailback, so it's nothing but a pitch out and run play. Nate Allen does an outstanding job setting the edge of the defense, and Reef couldn't make the block on a DB.
You know what the problem was, though? You got Golden Tate, who's really a receiver by trade, running the sweep. He should have felt maybe that block come from the inside out and tried to be more patient, let the block kick out that defender, and then cut back up behind him.
Wide receivers don't want to plant their foot and then go up inside and take 6 hits to get 1 yard.
They're not used to it.
And that's why the Lions are dead last in the league in rushing. There's a flag down on the play. Amari Cooper will return this punt from his own 29. And Cooper up to 40, but the flag is back near the line of scrimmage with 9:42 to go in the open half.
This is going to go against Detroit. Looked like one of the guys up front were moving just before the snap. It'll be huge if it's against Oakland. That'll give a first down to Detroit. But they're looking towards. Yeah, this could be a legal procedure.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 87 is not on the line of scrimmage. Oakland elects to add that penalty to the end of the return punt. First down, Oakland.
So the Raiders will have good field position for their third drive of the game. They'll start at the 46-yard line when we come back.
The NFL on CS is sponsored by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com. And by National Mortgage Lender Quicken Loans. Home buy, refi, power.
Raiders have yet to run a play Detroit territory today. They'll start this drive, though, at their own 46-yard line.
That's an offensive lineman flexed right there.
And nothing doing on this play for the Raiders. That was C.J. Wilson making the tackle.
That was Donald Penn, who normally would be the left tackle for the Raiders. He was flexed to the right in the wide receiver location. Bill Musgrave may be thinking about trying to set a play later on, just trying to see how the Lions would adjust to that formation.
That was a loss, too, for Latavius Murray. Only 3% of his carries this season have gone for negative yardage. That's the best in the NFL, so a rare one there. Crabtree on the catch, slips a tackle, and finally Oakland gets into Detroit territory after a gain of 8. Fantasy players dominate your league with CBS Sports, award-winning fantasy experts and analysis. Get real-time rankings, add, drop, and trade advice, plus much more. Go to cbssports.com/win.
The Raiders run as many of those quick screens to the receivers as anybody in the NFL. Both Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper very good in the open field with the ball.
Raiders go for 2 on 3rd downs in this first half. It's 3rd and 3. Call over the middle. It's dropped. Amari Cooper, that's his 7th drop of the season, the 5th most in the NFL. For as great a rookie year as he's had, this has been an issue.
Yeah, it was an issue very early. He's gotten kind of over it here in the second half of the first half of the season. The first couple of throws that got to him in his career, he had trouble getting off to a fast start, but now he kind of put it behind him until this moment.
Cooper still without a catch today. So Marquette King with his 3rd punt of the day. And Lance Moore is back deep to return it for the Lions. So today, Oakland 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. Moore with the catch at the 15. Detroit football when we come back. Yesterday in college football, and a big win here in the state of Michigan for the Spartans as they beat Ohio State at the buzzer. 6-0 Lions lead, 8:13 to go in the first half. This is we're checking Amir Abdullah on the carry, and he gets just across the 15-yard line for a gain of 1.
Speaking of that Michigan State win, I was a big Michigan State fan yesterday, even though I went to Notre Dame, because that move helped Notre Dame scoop another spot. Just wanted to get the plug in there while I could.
Anyone watching Notre Dame at Fenway last night cannot be overly impressed with the Irish.
The uniforms were a distraction.
2nd down and 9, and now Theo Riddick is in at running back after Abdullah getting 1 on 1st down. Tate motion. And that pass was deflected, nothing doing. Rick, the intended target, Justin Ellis got a hand on that one.
Matthew Stafford's got to get this ball to his running back. This screen was set up pretty nicely. He's got to find a way to get that ball up and over the top. You see Swanson, there were several other offensive linemen out in front. That's a play that's on the quarterback for sure.
Stafford started this game 8 for 10, but since then he's 0 for his last 3, and now 3rd down and 9 for Detroit. Raiders coming with pressure. Stafford gets rid of it, but takes a hit, completes it to Pettigrew, and lunges forward. And we'll have to see where they spot it. Khalil Mack was trying to wrap up Pettigrew, and it looks like it's going to be just short.
I think this is a bad spot. I think Pettigrew extended that ball. It's not whether his feet were out of bounds or not, but let's look at it.
I agree, and I think Jim Caldwell may take a chance to challenge this. They got him where his feet went out, but the ball was out ahead of that.
It's a question of he extended that ball before his feet stepped out of bounds.
The Raiders have blitzed 143 times this year. That's 3rd in the NFL. DJ Hayden came on a big blitz there and hit Stafford. Amari Cooper to return this punt. And Cooper at the 25. Cooper tackled right there. Good coverage by the Lions special teams. A 50-yard punt by Sam Martin. Derek Carr getting set to come back out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Fruit of the Loom. They test their products so you know they work. And by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Week 11 of the NFL on CBS with Steve Berlin and Steve Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalan. A good start offensively for the Raiders. 3 drives, 3 punts. They've only run one play in Detroit territory. They took this drive at their own 26-yard line. Amari Cooper still without a catch today. Had that drop on 3rd down. Crabtree, great catch. That was tight coverage by Nevin Lawson, and Crabtree still brought it in. We had a great chat with Michael Crabtree yesterday, and he told us that as soon as Amari Cooper was drafted, the instant he was drafted, he texted Derek Carr and told him, quote, pick a side and let it ride. And that's how that Raiders offense has been going this year. You can throw either way to Crabtree or Cooper. That time it was Crabtree for 7 yards. It's Murray. And Murray's got the first down. Latavius Murray close to midfield. Finally brought down by Glover Quinn after a gain of 16.
This is just off the left side. Donald Penn, Gabe Jackson, these guys all coming through right here, just straight ahead. Nothing fancy about that. Latavius Murray takes the ball right up behind these guys. And he also had, of course, Marcel Reitz getting up on the linebacker. That allowed Latavius Murray to get to that second level. Great execution on the power play out left side.
6 carries, 28 yards for Murray, but Olawale running back on 1st and 10. He gets the call. Olawale is a strong guy, and he gets up to the 47-yard line. Olawale had 8 touches last week against the Vikings. That's the most touches he's had in a game in his career, and not just in the NFL. That includes college and high school. He bounced around to a number of different high schools, so never really got settled in. In college, he's more of a special teams guy. He's in the ball a lot more now, and it's making the Raiders look smart as Carr's pass is incomplete, looking for Crabtree.
Yeah, that was a bad throw by Carr. They went with a little pace and went no huddle. And he just couldn't put it on Crabtree. Crabtree's going to come out right into this area and just hook up.
It was a miscommunication. Yeah. I think he expected Crabtree to count on the break. Crabtree thought he was supposed to be sitting down. That was, you know how important that is. The receiver, quarterback on a quick play like that have to be in sync.
Raiders have yet to convert a 3rd down. It's 3rd and 6. Lousted spin here in Detroit. Carr fires right, caught by Walford for a 1st down. And for the first time today, Oakland moves the chains on 3rd down.
Well, that gives you an idea of why Derek Carr is so effective. You're going to see him come out. This is a tough throw to the far side of the field late, outside the numbers, and he put it right on the money with some zip. That is a big-time throw on a 3rd and 6. It looks like just another out route. It was more than that.
Yeah, agreed.
Carr with 13 touchdowns in his last 4 games. That's the most in the NFL during that span. It's 1st and 10, and Murray back in running back, and Murray is stuffed. And who's the best run stuffer out there, at least for a long time? Haloti Ngata, and he was the one that stuffed Murray on that play. Now in his 10th year, first with the Lions after coming over in a trade the Ravens.
Well, it's interesting because there's no question on the pre-snap read. The Lions are bringing big pressure, and Carr, I think, was forced to stick with because of the depth of the play clock. He had to stick with the play. He would have loved to have gotten to that with all that pressure coming right up the middle. The Lions just got him right before the snap.
That's the 3rd time today Murray has lost yards, and as we mentioned earlier, he came into the day as the running back with the fewest amount of plays that go for negative yards. Crabtree is also tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. It's a great play by Quandre Diggs, the rookie out of Texas.
Spectacular play by Diggs. You see him identify the way Seth Roberts comes off the line. It kind of puts him to sleep, but it makes Diggs realized immediately that had to be a screen pass. Broke on it before the block could get up on him. Super tackle in the open field.
And now Crabtree goes out to the Raiders sideline. Already 3 catches today, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's 3rd down and 13. Carr has time, and his pass is short, intended for Cooper. Good coverage by Darius Slay anyway, and once again, Oakland will have to punt. Let's go back to the play before that, though, with Michael Crabtree, and see if we can see what happened to 7th-year wide receiver.
Just right there, yeah. He cut up on the turf, and you see the ball comes loose. He snatches it back together, but that, we'll see if he can walk that off.
So once again, Marquette King out to punt, 4th time already today, and Lance Moore back deep for the Lions. Moore drifting to the sideline, lets it bounce. It bounces at the 3 and back to the 10-yard line, and then the Lions fall on it. I don't think George Wynn needed to do that, but he does anyway, and with 2:40 to go, Marquette King pins the Lions back deep in their own end. Week 11 continues later today on Fox, and then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Marquette King all fired up after that punt. He's 8 punts inside the 10-yard line, 4th in the NFL, and they spot this one just barely inside the 10, so make it 9 on the year for King. He's all fired up.
Cam Newton's got nothing on him.
Last 3 Lions possessions, they've started at the 11, the 15, and now the 10-yard line. Stafford throwing on 1st down to Calvin Johnson. Ball came out and incomplete. Coverage on that play by David Emerson.
Nobody's debating whether that was incomplete.
No, not even similar.
That's just on Calvin. He had it, didn't have it, and was going to try and spin out of that and make it into a play and just forgot football.
That was the classic, take your eyes off and try to run before you secure that football. Very unlike Calvin Johnson.
Detroit with back-to-back 3 and outs on their last 2 drives. Now faced with 2nd and 10 with 3 on play clock. Stafford takes the snap. Stafford, Tate at the 18, wrapped up immediately by T.J. Carey. And a 3rd down for Detroit. We sat with Calvin Johnson on Friday at the Lions facility, and he said that even though the Lions won last week, it still took him a couple of days to get over that muffed onside kick. He nearly was the GOAT last week at Lambeau Field, but he was bailed out by Mason Crosby, missing that 52-yard field goal. 2-minute warning in Detroit. It'll be 3rd and 1 when we come back. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights, plus analysis of the first half. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 3rd down and 1 for the Lions. Each team 3 timeouts remaining. Golden Tate goes in motion, and Hayden stays with him. Stafford looking to throw. Fires to Tate. He's got it, and he's got the 1st down. Golden Tate up to the 24-yard line. Hayden makes the tackle. This was the previous play, and Golden Tate got popped by Ben Heaney on the catch, and Tate was down on a knee for a good portion of that 2-minute warning. Discussed it with the official, determined he was okay, so he stayed in the game and just picked up the 1st down. Calvin Johnson had the Lions 1st down, all the way up to the 45-yard line, tackled by T.J. Carey after a gain of 21.
The Lions are in their 2 minutes set. We can't show that to you again, but that was a rocket shot from Matthew Stafford into Calvin Johnson for a nice game.
Stafford rolling right, chased by Autry, and Stafford out of bounds. Again, Detroit has all 3 timeouts remaining, 1:06 to go. Raiders are scoreless in their last 6 quarters in a dome. Their last dome game was last November in St. Louis when they lost 52-0. We were there, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were there.
And now they still have yet to get on the board here today. Ford Field. 2nd and 10.
Well, the Lions are thinking touchdown. They're not. They have 3 timeouts and plenty of time.
Hayden coming to get the blitz. Stafford doesn't see it, and he's sacked. Heaney also got back there, and that's the first sack of Ben Heaney's NFL career. Jack Del Rio said without Aldon Smith, you'll see Heaney more in nickel and dime situations, and Heaney with the sack there.
They put a nice move on Laken Tomlinson right there, just kind of buckled him. Now you're in a situation where the Raiders might want to start to think about saving some time right there. Put them in 3rd and 15.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. With 3 timeouts remaining, Jack Del Rio elects not to call timeout. And now there's 30 seconds to go. Stafford looking for Johnson. He's got it. Inside the 30-yard line with 21 seconds to go. And now Detroit has called timeout.
Yeah, Nate Allen was late coming over. I don't know how you take that much time. And with the arm as strong as Stafford's, you've got to edge toward the best player, and he was just getting there.
4 catches. Calvin Johnson now 701 in his career. The first Lions wide receiver to get over 700 catches. And now Detroit in field goal range, but thinking more with 21 seconds to go. It's 1st and 10 from the 25. Stafford with pressure coming again, steps up. And Stafford goes down. The ball goes out of bounds. That was Shelby Harris who got to Stafford. Harris was just promoted off the practice squad this week to take Aldon Smith's spot on the roster.
It'll be interesting to see if they think this was a pass or a fumble. Yeah, he deliberately threw it, but he can't throw it forward out of bounds. It'll go back to the spot where he threw it underhand.
And you can see Stafford pops up here. He's very upset. No, he's well out of pocket. It could not be even considered grounding if anybody was thinking that way. But Stafford got up. He was upset. I think there was a miscommunication on the route. That's what he felt he got hit because of.
Oh, now they are going to throw a flag. They're saying it was a forward pass.
9. The quarterback was outside the pocket, but the ball did not get past the line of scrimmage.
Right.
That's the
It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Also a loss of down. Brings up 2nd down.
The ball did not go toward, or he did not attempt to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. That was the issue. I forgot about that little part of the rule.
Mike Carey back in New York, and Mike didn't get this one past across the line of scrimmage.
Yes, and the defender contacted him, but he started to slow his forward motion after
In
contact.
addition, because we're inside of a minute, this situation requires for a 10-second runoff against Detroit. However, Detroit elects to take timeout in order to save those 10 seconds. So this is Detroit's timeout. It'll be 30-second timeout.
That's a good explanation by Cleek Blakeman.
And that's the other part of the rule. But because the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage, intentional grounding, under a minute with the clock running, 10-second runoff, saved by the team, timeout.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So to avoid the runoff, the Lions now only have 1 timeout left with 15 seconds to go. And the ball's at the 35-yard line, so from there it would be a field goal north of 50 yards. So we'll see if they can get a chunk of that yardage back on 2nd and 20. Ninth play of the drive for the Lions. 15 seconds left. Stafford, quick pass to Tate, and he goes out of bounds at the 33. So from there, a 51-yard field goal for Matt Prater, who, as we know, has the leg. He's got the NFL record with a 64-yard field goal 2 years ago.
With 1 timeout left, the Lions would still obviously like to get another 7 or 8 yards, make this range where Prater doesn't feel like he's got to hit a bomb.
Well, Matt Stafford changed that play, and Calvin Johnson's body language said he was disgusted with the play that they changed it to. I think they were going to try and go deep and then call the quick timeout, and they changed it to that short pass.
Pressure coming from the Raiders.
Stafford taking a shot to Tate, incomplete, stride for stride with T.J. Carey, and frustration for Matthew Stafford and the Lions. Before that penalty, they were moving right down the field, but instead, Prater's going to come out to attempt his 3rd field goal.
It's good coverage.
I don't know if it was a great effort by Golden Tate to try to beat him over the top there. I don't think he was expecting to get that football.
Well, I think he was trying to draw a penalty. I mean, he was asking for a flag.
Matt Prater out for a 51-yard attempt. This year on field goals of 50-plus, he's 2 for 2.
Timeout, Oakland. It's their first
Jack Del
timeout,
Rio
32nd time.
We'll try to ice Prater. Don't forget, coming up, the Verizon halftime report. Our guys in New York, JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Capper. All the scores and highlights from around the league and analysis of the first half. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Matt Prater, the NFL all-time leader in field goal percentage of field goal attempts from beyond 50, 76% in his career. Never hurts to kick indoors here now with the Lions. 7 seconds left in the first half. And Prater's kick is good. He's now 13 for 13 on the season. And he's accounted for all of the Lions' points here in the first half. There's 2 seconds left. Well, I think all things considered, the Raiders have to feel pretty good. They're only down 9 points. And the Lions have moved the ball down the field. 218 yards of offense in this first half. But they could not get it done in the red zone. And it's 9-0.
Well, the one thing that's going to come into play in the second half, though, with the Lions on the field, as much as they have been offensively, this Raiders defense is going to get tired out. It shows up in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter, when a team has been on, a defensive team has been on the field for most of the game. They ended up getting, you start seeing those teams become a little bit bigger. A lot of arm tackling coming in. The Raiders need to find a way to control the football in the second half.
But because they were able to keep them to 3 field goals, I still think Raiders can stick with their game plan. They can hand the football off and stay with the run game. But there's no question, their defense for the Raiders is going to have to play better in the second half in order for them to win.
Their offense is going to have to play a lot better, too.
Yeah.
They've punted every series today.
Yeah.
It will be Oakland football to start the second half. 2 seconds remain. And Seth Roberts is back deep again. Tywan Jones out earlier with a knee injury. His return remains questionable. This one's fielded by Reese, and will be the final play of the first half. Again, the Raiders won the opening coin toss. They deferred, so it'll be Oakland football to start the second half. Carr in the first half, 6 of 11 for 57 yards. 9-0 Lions lead it. We'll be back with the Bison halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Start of the third quarter in Detroit. The Lions lead the Raiders 9-0. Time now for Who Are You Lovin'? Presented by McDonald's Game Time Gold. Matthew Stafford loves Calvin Johnson. 36-yard gain here. It led to a field goal, 1 of 3 in the first half for Detroit. Back in the booth with Steve Braun and Steve Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalan. Raiders came into the day 3rd in the NFL, averaging 29 points per game on the road this year. So far today, none. How did they get it going in the second half?
Well, I think personally, a very uninspired effort by the Raiders as a team. Coming out, I think, a little bit flat. If I'm Jack Del Rio, I try to light a fire under my team in this second half. Tell them to come out and play like it means something to them. Make a few plays. Somebody has to step up. I don't think it's a game plan thing. I think it's an intensity thing the Raiders are lacking right now.
As for the Lions, 3 field goals. Could have been a lot more, Steve Tasker. They've missed some opportunities today.
And I think that's a big thing for the Lions. They got down in the red zone, particularly in the first quarter. They were down there twice and had 2 passes that went off the fingertips. One of Ebron, the tight end, off in the corner. This could have been a touchdown. And then on the other side, Abdul comes out. He lays out. I think this is what the Lions need to continue to do. They're going to win this game by throwing the football if they can catch it and keep doing it. If there's one thing I would be careful of if I'm the Detroit Lions, that's make sure Matt Stafford gets the football out of his hands as fast as he can. The only way the Raiders are going to hurt this passing game, it looks like, is to sack Stafford. If they get the ball out of his hand and protect him, I think that Lions are going to win and get more opportunities.
Let's take a look at some of the halftime numbers. Just 93 yards of offense for Oakland. And the time of possession tilted in Detroit's favor as well, but still just a 2-possession game because of the 3 field goals by Matt Prater. And Oakland will start the second half with the football. We told you earlier that Tywan Jones had to leave because of a knee injury. So once again, Seth Roberts is back deep to receive the kick for the Raiders. Jack Del Rio's team this year 0-4, trailing at the half. We'll see if they can make a comeback in Detroit week 11.
Well, he's taken a lot of pride in the culture changes that he's made and that his staff has made within this organization. He said one of the things that's a big priority for him was to learn how to travel better, play better on the road. You talked about it, Andrew. They've been averaging close to over 30 points a game on the road. So, and they've won games on the road. So that this is an area where they're going to be challenged today.
Sam Martin kicks it away through the end zone, so the Raiders will start at the 20. And we saw a lot of Marquette King, the Oakland punter, in the first half. 4 of them on the day.
Yeah, that's not enough production, obviously. They've really struggled to move the football. The running game's been bottled up. And Derek Carr has, while he's gotten rid of the football, made some good throws. A couple of drops hurt him. And I think that the Raiders receivers aren't getting as much separation as they're used to either.
Olawale starts at running back to begin this second half. 3 receivers set for the Raiders. And Crabtree, who we had to check on earlier, went out briefly after his right leg got twisted up, is out there for Oakland. Carr rolling right, trying to throw a deep ball on the run to Roberts, who makes the catch. Roberts found a soft spot in the coverage and gains 43.
When you watch film of the Raiders, you will see that Derek Carr, as much as any quarterback in the NFL, does give his receivers a chance to make plays up the field. He's not afraid to put the ball up late down the middle of the field with his receivers because he knows they're going to go up and make a play on that football. There's another great example of it.
A career-long reception for Roberts. And Oakland moves right into Detroit territory after 1 play. Murray back at running back. He takes the handoff on 1st and 10, trying to get to the outside and shoved down by Josh Bynes, who's second on the team in tackles.
You know, that last play, I'm sure when he let go of that football, Jack Del Rio and Bill Musgrave were saying, no, no, no. It's a first play of the second half, and then it's caught by Robert for a 40-yard gain. Great throw, great play, way to go.
Well, we couldn't have been more wrong about the first. We came in the open, said this had all the earmarks of a shootout. It turns into a field goal game, 9-0. We couldn't have been more wrong. That play right after halftime is what we thought we were going to see all day.
I wonder how many times Bill Musgrave said that about you, Steve Berline.
Never.
He was your former coordinator in Carolina for a while. 2nd and 8, it's Murray again. Murray stacked up right the line. Well, Bill Musgrave, when we met with him yesterday, he said he's having a lot of fun. That was a word he used multiple times. He's got a lot of different weapons, and Cooper Crabtree, and everyone seems to be buying into his offensive plan.
And Bill Musgrave is a very unique personality. You can tell when he came in and sat down with us, he's got a real witty, sly, dry sense of humor that it takes a while to get to know him, but I think his players really enjoy playing for him because he wants to get in the ball in situations where they're most comfortable.
3rd down and 8. Oakland just 1 for 5 on 3rd downs. See what Musgrave dials up. Carr, another shot deep down the middle is picked off. Poor throw there by Carr. There is a flag down. Quandre digs the interception right now, but let's see what the flag is.
Yeah, that was a poor throw by Carr.
Prior to that, holding, defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So wipe the interception off the board. It's a holding call against Nevin Lawson.
Well, Derek Carr got away with one here. This ball was late down the middle. We talked about how he did it on the first play of this series in the second half. He threw that ball down the middle, late, high, went up and made a play right there. That the Lions made the play on the late throw down the middle.
Well, it was a late throw, but the first one wasn't unthrown like that one was. That one was thrown about 5 to 7 yards behind where it should have been, and the DB was right way.
Well, let's see if the Raiders can capitalize off the penalty against Lawson. First and 10 from the 30. That's Walford in motion, the tight end. Carr play action to Crabtree. Nice grab inside the 20-yard line, and the Raiders are driving all the way up to the 15-yard line. Let's go back to the holding call on third down. There's Lawson, number 24.
You see right there.
Oh man,
wow.
I really, I have a problem with that.
So do I.
And so is Jim Caldwell, guaranteed. That's going to the league.
Carr end zone incomplete. He was trying to get it to Walford in a tight window to hear Whitehead had the coverage.
This is where Derek Carr said that he really likes to use the big body of Clark Walford. He's got, as the Raiders check in with an offensive lineman as an eligible receiver, Derek Carr said in the red zone he's so long with his arms, you want to give him a chance to make a play.
Khalif Barnes is the eligible receiver for Oakland on 2nd and 10. Quick pass to Cooper, trying to get him in some space. Amari Cooper out of bounds at the 12-yard line. And that is the first catch today by the Oakland rookie.
That play was one block away from being a much bigger gain. Seth Roberts had to make the key cut block up the field, and he dove the defensive backs right over the top of him and made the play.
Well, Derek Carr has struggled in the red zone this year, a completion percentage of just 40%. That's second worst in the NFL. Only Johnny Mandel has a lower completion percentage inside the 20-yard line. Reese in motion on 3rd and 6. Carr just gets it off. Steps up. He's going to keep it himself. Carr at the 5 and dives up ahead to the 3. First and goal, Raiders.
He saw man-to-man. He dropped back. The pocket collapsed around him, and he stepped up through it, and there was nothing but wide open space. He decided very quickly to detect this and run, and got the first down. It's a great decision.
Hands it off to Reese up middle. Marcel Reese. And they're saying his forward progress was stopped at the 1.
Reese trying to beg his case that he got in, plead his case that he got in, but I don't think he broke the plane.
Well, he did get in late, but after his forward progress had stopped, he kept working for it. And the play's dead if his helmet comes off, by the way.
Carr back to Reese up the gut, stuffed. Josh Bynes, one of the first one to get there for the Lions. And it's 3rd and goal.
I'll tell you what, this is critical. I think the Raiders have got to get in right here. It's a statement drive.
Bynes looked like he knew this play was coming. I mean, he was in the backfield. He timed that blitz right at the right time, shot in the backfield, and met Reese before the offensive lineman had a chance to get up on him. That was Austin Howard coming around trying to get up on him.
And now an injured Raider down on the field at the 4-yard line. And that's the center, Rodney Hudson, who did not play last week because of a high ankle sprain. He was listed as questionable today. Jack Del Rio wasn't sure last night if Hudson would be able to go. He is, but now appears to be shaken up.
He also said Hudson is a big difference maker. They were hoping that he could make it a go of it today, but it may come to an end right here.
Back in a moment. Center, 3rd and goal. It's Murray. Takes it in. Touchdown, Raiders. 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Latavius Murray, and Oakland is finally on the board here in the 3rd quarter. I was expecting more a play action pass in that situation, but I think what Bill Musgrave and Jack Del Rio decided on the sideline was they're going to power it up in there off the right side with Latavius Murray. You see the polling offensive lineman Gabe Jackson around there, and they had decided beforehand that if they got stopped short, they were going to probably go for it on 4th down. The Raiders had 93 yards of offense in the first half. They just had 75 on that drive. And now Janikowski on for the extra point. And the kick is good. So the Raiders take the second half kickoff and go right down the field. And now we've got a 2-point game after the touchdown run by Latavius Murray.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Applebee's. Taste the change. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Nevin Lawson had the big penalty on that drive for the Lions that negated an interception, and Latavius Murray with the 4th rushing touchdown makes it a 9-7 game. Here's the dangerous Abdullah out of his own end zone. A 104-yard return last week, and here he gets to the 20-yard line. Big drive for the Raiders. That Seth Roberts catch, a big part of it, a 43-yard completion on the first play of the second half, and now a 2-point game. Let's see how the Lions respond.
Very important for Detroit to respond. Derek Carr talking with his quarterback coach, Todd Downing, right there. Very important for Detroit, though, to answer right here. And the Raiders defense, you would expect the offense coming in and scoring a touchdown on the first drive. The defense should be fired up to come out and make a statement themselves to open the second half.
And Lions fans know Todd Downing well. He spent 5 years here as an assistant coach, a quarterback coach for Matthew Stafford part of that time. Abdullah in at running back. And Ebron, who dropped the touchdown, goes in motion. And Abdullah up to the 24-yard line. Tomorrow on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, catch Sylvester Stallone. And later this week, Justin Bieber, plus Stephen's Thanksgiving celebration, only CBS. Yeah, the Raiders fans making the trip here to Detroit. They travel very well. Always dressed up appropriately, even some north of the border. Abdullah got 4, it's 2nd and 6. Stafford sideline, Johnson open up. Amerson again. David Amerson started at corner while Nate Allen was out, and TJ Carey slid to safety. Now that Allen's back, Amerson's kind of turned into the nickel back, the 3rd corner, but he's still making the most of his opportunities.
He looked like he was too frightened about Calvin Johnson running over the top of him there. He sat on that comeback route, was a great position to make the play.
4th pass defense for Amerson today. He's having a good game on that Raiders defensive side of the ball for Kevin Norton Jr. 3rd down and 6, 4 on the play clock for Stafford. Stafford in trouble, and Stafford goes down. A late flag comes in the secondary. Stafford has the football on the bottom of that pile. Let's see what the flag is.
This came from the secondary late in the play.
You got to think it's some sort of illegal contact.
Holding. Defense, number 27. It's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down, Detroit.
Back against Taylor Mays, the 6th-year man out of USC.
Right there. And you see it's got that arm bear hugging the receiver, and that's the penalty, and that's an easy call.
Yeah, that was a legitimate call. The one on Nevin Lawson the other way for the Lions was pretty poor call in my opinion.
So the penalty makes it 1st and 10. Lions trying to get something going on the ground with Abdullah. That was his 8th carry of the day.
Excuse me, Andrew. We've spoken a lot about the Lions running game, or particularly the lack thereof, and we spoke to him, Caldwell, about it. He said, listen, we don't care if we rush for 200 yards, but we would like to be able to get positive yards and maybe eke up to the 4.0 average per carry, just so we can keep it involved. When you got a 2-point lead in the second half, certainly they can continue to hand it off, but an effective running game is different than a running game gets a lot of yards.
Yeah, his response, we're not built to run the football for 150 or 200 yards, but we need it to set up the play action. Handed to Abdullah here, trying to get to the second level. Great tackle from behind by Khalil Mack. Such an impressive player in his 2nd year out of Buffalo.
Yeah, he is a special athlete. He's got the ability to run down pretty much any running back in the NFL from behind. You know, I don't think Abdullah was expecting to get, he thought he had nothing but green grass and was going to cut it back, but Mack right there to shut the door. He's a special player.
You know, the scouting report, Abdullah's fumbled 4 times. Mack went for the strip there, but Abdullah held on to it. 3rd down and 5. Stafford in trouble, and he goes down again. Autry with a first one get there. Had the 4th sack today by the Oakland defense.
Well, I said it at halftime, one of the things that the Lions have to do is make sure the ball gets out of Stafford's hands or protect him. The Raiders knew that. They just bring a 4-man rush. There's an inside tackle game that comes free, but nobody was getting separation. As soon as Stafford was ready to throw the football, the pocket was collapsing around him. Good coverage there at the bottom on Ebron, and at the top, Calvin Johnson getting covered out of the slot deep. Nobody to throw to.
4 sacks in back-to-back weeks for Oakland. There's a flag down on his punt, and it takes a big Raiders bounce back to the 43-yard line, but a flag on the far sideline at the 26.
They had one illegal formation call against the Lions in the first half. It's Jamarciano, the Lions special teams
Number 10 of the kicking team voluntarily went out of bounds. That's a 5-yard penalty, which will be added to the end of the return kick. 1st down, Oakland.
So it goes against the Raiders, but they have the ball when we come back. The signature community outreach program during the first portion of the Lions season is Meet Up and Eat Up. This program teaches kids the importance of physical activity and healthy eating. Lions players shop with the kids to show them it's never too early to focus on a healthy lifestyle. Clete Blake, the referee, said the penalty was against the return team, but it was actually against Detroit, so a couple extra yards for the Raiders. They'll start this drive at their own 47. Carr, play action, sideline to Crabtree, makes the catch and that bounds, shoved out by Darius Slay. But this Oakland offense looked a lot different in the second half. So far, you saw in the first half, they had 75 yards on the first drive of the second half.
Carr during the season has only been sacked 10 times coming
69
into the day.
reports is eligible. 69 is eligible.
Khalif Barnes reports is eligible. He's taking the place of Lee Smith and some of the 3 tight end sets. That is a big tight end.
Not much of a pass threat, though.
Well, if he's lined up tight end, you know they've got to play it.
55.
This is an illegal formation if Barnes is eligible.
That's timeout called for by the Raiders with 1 on a play clock. 6:15 to go 3rd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, half cost. And by Jared, the Gallery of Jewelry. The gift you'll treasure forever.
Raiders had to burn its timeout with 6:15 to go 3rd quarter. And following the timeout, 2nd down and 2. Carr looking to throw. Lobs in the direction of Holmes, and it's incomplete. Let's go back to the last play, and here's why the Raiders had to call timeout.
Well, Khalif Barnes reported as an eligible receiver, but the problem is Andre Holmes covers him up there, and all these guys are on the line of scrimmage right here, and they have to be off. So Holmes has to step back off the ball, or Khalif Barnes has to step back off the ball. One of those guys has to be. It's an illegal formation. They had to take a timeout because of it.
Oh, go out.
And now 3rd down and 2. Carr, quick slant. Crabtree's got the 1st down. Coming into the game, Crabtree had 11 of his 13 3rd down catches go for a 1st down, number 1 on the team, and his 3rd down reception percentage, 84% of his 3rd down catches go for 1st down. So Carr is looking his way on 3rd, and they convert right there.
Go 57.
Spot the ball at the 34. 1st down and 10 with 5.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. To give to Latavius Murray. Bynes ties him up at the 32. Couple injury updates for you on the Raiders side. Rodney Hudson, the center who you saw out earlier, he has an ankle injury. His return is questionable. Meanwhile, Tywan Jones is out for the rest of the game with a knee injury. Defensively for Oakland, Keith McGill is out for the rest of the game with an ankle injury.
I go 57.
Carr's 11 of 18 for 137 yards. He's thrown for 300 in 3 straight games.
Amari Cooper single up on the outside.
Instead, they hand it to Olawale. And he gets maybe a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, you said it, Steve. I mean, that with Amari Cooper at the bottom with the safety all the way in the middle of the field, you can bet come back to that formation with a play to Cooper to see if he can win one-on-one.
If I'm Bill Musgrave, that's 2 plays in a row. They've lined up bump and run on Amari Cooper with Darius Slay. The question is, do you like that matchup? I think got to give Cooper a chance next time see that opportunity.
Cooper only has 1 catch. His season low, 4 catches in the game. The Raiders have converted 3 straight 3rd downs. It's 3rd and 6. Pressure coming. Carr gets rid of it. Broken up. Good coverage there by Issa Abdul Kudus. He's seen an increased role over the last couple of games. And the pressure was coming from Jason Jones.
And they did come with the blitz. You're right, the pressure was coming, Andrew. And Derek Carr this year has been the top quarterback in the NFL against the blitz. The quarterback rating over 124. I'm surprised that Detroit is blitzing as much as they are because Derek Carr has proven he can handle it. But today, Detroit's winning that matchup. When they come with pressure, Derek Carr has not completed many balls today.
So here's Janikowski for a 48-yard field goal, and he is right down the middle. So with 3:55 to go, the Raiders take a 1-point lead. Detroit scored the first 9. Oakland has answered with 10 straight. Averaging 31 yards per kick return. And he's not going to get a chance here. A touchback. Panthers tangle with Tony Romo and the Cowboys down in Big D. The festivities begin with your Super Bowl 50 team. JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer on a special holiday edition of the NFL Today. Neither quarterback has lost this year. The problem for the Cowboys is that Tony Romo's only played in 2 games. Today is his 3rd game as the Cowboys play the Dolphins.
And you can believe that the Carolina Panthers will bring in the heat. They're a very physical defense. They're going to see how ready to play Tony Romo is.
Cam Newton has 5 touchdowns today against the Redskins as Golden Tate makes the catch, fights away from DJ Hayden. Golden Tate's done a good job of that this year. 6 broken tackles coming into the game. That's tied for first among all wide receivers.
He kind of got himself tweaked a little bit there. At the end of that play, you saw Raider coming in low, and I think his leg got kind of put into an awkward position. Watch as he goes out of bounds. That left leg right there just kind of gets tweaked up a little bit.
Tate picks up 6. It's 2nd and 4. It's Abdullah. Tackle from behind. And it's Khalil Mack again for the Raiders. Jim Caldwell said this week that Mack reminds a little bit of Dwight Freeney.
Watch what happens. Khalil Mack right here is going to come hard inside and beat the block of the wide receiver and the tight end to make this. Watch, goes hard inside, beats 2 guys, back outside to tackle Amir Abdullah. Wow, what an athlete.
And now 3rd down and 5. Calvin Johnson up at the top of your screen. Raiders have come with pressure a lot on 3rd down today. Coming again, Stafford gets rid of it, incomplete. Overthrows the intended target, Ebron, and a quick 3 and out for the Lions.
That throw Matthew Stafford has to make. Up and over the top, not too difficult. A nice route by Ebron. He's going to put that ball on him.
That was Charles Woodson that nearly came out with that interception. He's tied for the league lead with 5 on the season. 3rd 3 and out today by the Lions. Martin kicks it away. And here's Amari Cooper from his own 26. That's to reverse field. That does not work. And Cooper tickled at the 27 with 2:21 to go. Raiders lead by 1. With NFL Mobile, watch local and primetime NFL game live on your smartphone. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. Third quarter in Detroit. What a good job this Raiders offensive line has done, not only today, but throughout the season on offensive line coach Mike Tice, who spent 4 years as a head coach in Minnesota. They have not allowed a sack today to the Lions, and they came in tied for the second fewest sacks allowed. And again, they're doing it with their backup center. Bergstrom remains in there for Rodney Hudson, who had to come out earlier with an ankle injury. First and 10 for Oakland. Carr, as he throws, and it's incomplete. He's trying to forward it into Marcel Reese, and a late flag comes in.
I think it's a good call. Carr got hit as the ball fluttered, so the timing was off.
Pass interference, defense, number 27. The ball he placed at the spot of foul. First down, Oakland.
It's Glover Quinn, the 7th-year safety out of New Mexico.
The ball fluttered in the air, so Marcel Reese jumped way early, which means Glover Quinn came up and defended early, and the ball was still in the air.
You can see Jim Caldwell saying bad call. Pressure on that play was from Haloti Knock. That's what affected the throw.
7th penalty on the Lions, and Mike Rivera into Detroit territory, all the way to the 30-yard line, a gain of 21. Longest reception this year for the 3rd-year tight end out of Tennessee.
At the top of your screen, the ball fluttered, and you see he's got his arm
no doubt.
before, and Reese couldn't reach up for the football. That's a good call.
Yeah, no doubt. Glover Quinn right there, though, the last play, great pass, or actually a very, very impressive pass by Derek Carr, faking the play action and hitting Rivera up to see him on the line.
Over 100 yards passing in this half for Carr. In the shotgun, 1st and 10. Over the middle, and Rivera couldn't hang on to it. Good coverage there by Josh Bynes. We go back to New York. An update, which would be in Tony Gonzalez.
Miami evens it up.
Yes, Tannehill got off to a rough start earlier, but here he's putting on Kenny Stills for the 29-yard touchdown. That is a drop in the bucket. We are all knotted up, 14-14 in the 3rd quarter.
Looks like a Steve Berline pass right in the basket. Back to Andrew, Steve and Steve.
It's nice to finally be getting the respect I deserve from all these CS friends of ours.
You saw that one pass, JB, back in the day? Murray, that's from up the middle and upended at the 34-yard line. I do have to give you credit because we do have fun with you, but we spoke to Bill Musgrave yesterday, who was your former offensive coordinator, and he said the accuracy that you threw with reminds him of what Derek Carr had, the confidence that gives Musgrave to know that if he calls a seam pattern, he knows Carr can put it right on the money like you did back in 1999. So
well, thank you for that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So speaking for myself, I was shocked.
3rd down and 6.
Hey, go Liz! Rip!
Owens 4 for 9 on 3rd downs, final minute of the 3rd quarter. One on the play clock. Carr doesn't get it off. Delay a game. That's the 2nd time today that's been called against the Oakland offense.
Play a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
No, there isn't. And a young quarterback is going to make a mistake once in a while. But in this day and age, how many times do we see in these games coaches running down the sideline and saying, timeout, timeout, when they see that clock running down? He's getting distracted. The noise. He's trying to communicate with his teammates what's going on.
Yeah,
He's communicating. They don't even realize over here on the sideline, that's where someone's going to be paying attention.
Matt McGloin was the one pointing up at the clock, the backup quarterback. 3rd down and 11. Carr, and with time, incomplete though. Carr and Crabtree not in sync on that one, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, Crabtree's going to come out. This is a deep, deep comeback, and this ball has to be up early, and Crabtree just can't get out of the break to come back and get it, which brings up an enormous field goal here for the Raiders as Janikowski takes the field.
And he's one of the guys that can do it from 56 yards, but that's a throw. You talked about Bill Musgrave talking about Derek Carr's accuracy. Crabtree was open. Derek Carr's got to make that throw on that 3rd down play.
Janikowski from 56, and that one is A season long for Janikowski, and he now has 51 career field goals of 50 yards or more. The only kicker in NFL history with more 50-yard field goals is Jason Hansen, formerly of the Lions. And he's got 52, so Janikowski is now one away from tying for the most 50-yard field goals in NFL history.
You know what I love about watching Seabass, though? When you watch him kick a field, watch his reaction. He's like, yeah, oh, all right, whatever. Big jump. Nice.
Yeah, could have been from 15 yards, let alone.
Could care less. That's what I do. I hit these field goals.
Everybody else loves it, man. That's a great kick. Awesome.
That's a big kick.
And Janikowski's like, ho-hum. Yeah, okay. I got to kick off him.
Yeah.
He's now 3 for 4 this year from 50 plus.
Well, I made a living playing special teams, and even I will tell you, kickers are a different breed.
Well, he's a different breed of a different breed. I mean, the kickers are a different breed, but that guy's one of a kind. There's never been a guy like Sebastian Janikowski.
Well, he's listed at 6'1", 265.
Yeah.
I'm saying
and I think if I'm not mistaken, he drives a Ferrari too. So
37 years old, still going strong. Lions will start at the 20 with 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Tomorrow on CBS, Supergirl flies into action to save her city. A new Supergirl tomorrow at 8/7 Central, only CBS. So Oakland was scoreless the first 34 minutes of the game, and now they've scored 13 points in the last 10 minutes. They lead by 4.
There's been some timely penalties called against the Detroit Lions defensively. The last one was definitely against Glover Quinn. Correct call. Those have led directly to points, though, for the Raiders.
7 penalties, 55 yards for the Lions today. Stafford pass to Tate. Tate across the 25, bounces into the outside, and Golden Tate with a great job, yards after the catch, and he goes for 21.
Golden Tate, if you want to compare Golden Tate and the way he plays to somebody, the best guy I've seen in comparison would be Hines.
This is the end of the third quarter.
We're 3 in Detroit. Lions trail 13-9. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Start of the fourth quarter in Detroit. Lions scored the first 9 points of the game. Oakland has answered with 13 straight. And the Lions begin the quarter with 1st and 10, and it's Riddick spinning away to pick up a yard. Now, the Raiders have struggled in the fourth quarter this season. They've allowed 93 points in the fourth quarter, at the 3rd most in the NFL. They've been outscored by 43 in the fourth quarter. That point differential is the 2nd worst. Only the Titans have been worse. So let's see if the Raiders can close it out and get back to 500 on the season. Meanwhile, the Lions looking for their 2nd consecutive win. They only trail by 4. Stafford to the air. And that pass is incomplete. David Amerson nearly had an interception.
Yeah, that was a poor decision by Matthew Stafford right there. Amerson was in perfect position. This is 2-man. That means there's 2 safeties over the top, and the defensive backs can set underneath routes, try to jump underneath the break of the receiver. That's an easy read for the quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Poor decision to throw that football. Lucky he didn't pay the price.
And now it's 3rd down and 10. The Lions have just 27 yards after halftime today. Edwards coming pressure. Stafford flips it to Riddick. And Riddick has a first down into Oakland territory. Great improv by Matthew Stafford, a gain of 15.
Well, this is a super job by Stafford, stepping up in the pocket, buying some extra time. And again, they were playing that 2-man coverage. The best options for you a lot of times in that coverage are your running backs and your tight ends underneath. Right there you see, as soon as Riddick made a move back, he lost the coverage from Malcolm Smith, and that's a big gain for Detroit.
Back to Riddick, this time on the ground. Now keep in mind, the Lions, just their 3rd game under offense coordinator Jim Bob Cooter. He took over after Joe Lombardi was fired in Week 8. Matthew Stafford on Friday said, we're still kind of all getting on the same page, but as we become more comfortable with it, the faster we'll be able to go. And you're seeing them a little no huddle here on this drive now. Riddick got 5. It's 2nd and 5. Stafford to Johnson. And Calvin Johnson uses his big frame to lunge ahead for a first down. TJ Carey on the tackle.
Yeah, you talk about how much they've changed this offense, and it has been a complete transformation. A lot of different concepts, a lot of different verbiage. Bob Cooter really taking hold, and he says, if I'm going to call plays, I got to use an offense that I know and I want to do. Matt Stafford said they put a lot on the offense's plate during the bye week to make the transformation. It's still in progress, but it's really unprecedented, that kind of change mid-season for an NFL football team.
Jim Caldwell called it drastic, but the Lions now coming off the win in Green Bay looking for more. Quick pass to Riddick. Riddick slips a tackle and gets inside the 25-yard line before DJ Hayden finally brings him down.
Well, the urgency has picked up the Detroit Lions across the board here. They've changed tempo by going with the no huddle, although on this play right now they're huddling up. But they've got the Raiders kind of on their heels. You would want to see them step up and answer the second half charge by the Raiders. They're doing that on this drive.
We've already seen Riddick with a couple of catches here in the fourth quarter. He is the 3rd most receptions of anyone in the NFL in the fourth quarter. That includes wide receivers. The only 2 with more, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. Stafford rolling right. Has room to run. Matthew Stafford down the sideline. Inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 5.
That was an impromptu move. This was not supposed to be a quarterback run at all. He was going to look to Calvin Johnson. The Raiders jumped him, played over the top with a safety. You see there, he wanted to throw that football out as he came outside. The big guys up front couldn't keep up with him, and he made it down the sideline. Great move.
Well, what you're going to see, Stafford comes here. He comes around the end, and the pressure from the Raiders coming off of this side. Stafford comes outside, sees nothing in front of him but green grass, and he wants to take it as far as he can. Thought we might see a John Elway hurdle at the top there at the end of that one.
Not so much. 1st and goal, empty backfield. Stafford, quarterback draw, in for a touchdown. The first rushing touchdown of the season for Stafford and the 12th of his career.
Well, what's going to happen here? You're going to see the Raiders, the Lions are empty backfield, so the Raiders are focusing on the outside totally on the snap. And when Matt Stafford drops back to throw, fakes the throw, he's going to see nothing in front of him but the green grass again. He's got that parting of the Red Sea, per se, right in front. Great call by Jimbo Cooter. Perfect situation. The Raiders were in the wrong coverage at that point.
Prayed on for the extra point. He missed 2 in Green Bay, knocks this one. And how about this? It's the first rushing touchdown for the Lions since week 3. It belongs to the quarterback, Matthew Stafford, as Detroit regains the lead. Matthew Stafford accounted for 75 of the 80 yards on that drive. 52 the air, 23 on the ground, including his first rushing touchdown of the season and just the 3rd rushing touchdown this year by the Detroit Lions. Roberts juggles the kickoff, now takes it out. And Roberts forced out at the 20-yard line. That was a clutch drive by Matthew Stafford and the Lions, something they definitely needed to get back in this ball game.
Yeah, Matt Stafford doing a good job throughout the course of that drive, keeping plays alive with his feet. The first one stepping up in the pocket, finding Riddick. Here, taking it down the side, and then the perfect call by Jim Bob Cooter on the quarterback draw, taking it into the end zone. Very solid answer drive for the Detroit Lions to try and get control of this game back.
10:58 to go. Remember, the Raiders had to burn a timeout because of that illegal formation set in the 3rd quarter. So Oakland 2 timeouts the rest of the way. Calling a shotgun to start this drive. Just out by Ansah, and Ziggy Ansah got him. 8th sack of the season for Ziggy Ansah, the third-year man out of BYU.
Incredible story, this Ziggy Ansah. You're going to see coming off the top of the left side of your screen, right there, bringing speed around the edge. A good little juke move inside, and he got the closing speed. This guy's a guy that came to America on an academic scholarship at BYU, was a track guy. He's running the 200 meters in track. Now he's in the NFL playing for the Detroit Lions, sacking quarterbacks.
Loss of 5 on the play, and they hand it off, and nothing doing there for the Raiders. Ansah and Jason Jones getting in the backfield to tackle Murray.
Well, we've seen this a couple of times. Derek Carr get caught with pressure coming and doesn't get out of the way. The pressure's going to come from the edges, and they have no answer for it. Carr is out to see that pressure, check out of the play, give his offense a different weapon to use against that kind of pressure. If he doesn't see it pre-snap and check out of it, bad things are going to happen.
3rd down and 20. Short pass to Roberts. Flag is down. Roberts gets up to the 22-yard line. The flag is back at the 16.
This may be the same penalty they got in the first half, where guys are blocking downfield before the pass is made. Yeah, he's Clete Blakeman asking Jim Caldwell if he wants to decline this.
Pass interference, offense, number 81. Penalties declined, brings up 4th down.
Penalty is against Michael Rivera, and Darius Slay is still down on the ground. The impressive third-year corner out of Mississippi State, who's playing very well of late. Aaron Rodgers last week only targeted him 1 time, and Rodgers told him after the game that he thinks that Slay's one of the best young quarters in the league. And this is an area that Detroit has been ravaged by injuries lately. They've had to put 2 corners on IR in the last 3 weeks. Slay hobbles off. And Oakland sent out its punt team. Let's take another look. Looks like his teammate Abdul Quddus came down on him.
It might have been the heel right. I don't know. Yeah, there's no telling what it was. Yeah. Heel caught him in the chin. It looked like he was grabbing a midsection.
The Lions need him to be okay. Just 24 years old, a 2nd-round pick out of Mississippi State. 4th down and 9. Here's Marquette King. We've seen him a few times today. This is 5th punt. And Golden Tate. Look at this punt by King, driving Tate back to the 13-yard line. Tate to the 25, and that's where he's dragged down. That was a 63-yard boomer from Marquette King. The Lions get the ball back with 9:01 to go in the 4th. Detroit leads by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Creed. This Wednesday, fight for name. The all-new LG V10. Capture the in-between moments. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
9:01 to go, 4th quarter. Matthew Stafford and the Lions lead it by 3. Week 11 of NFL on CBS with Tasker and Steve Berline. I'm Andrew Catalar, our entire NFL on CBS crew. Stafford throwing on first down. That pass was deflected.
Yeah, lucky something bad didn't happen right here. DJ Hayden was coming up and was surprised that ball hit him in the hands.
And Mario Edwards was the one that deflected it at the line. Jack Del Rio has been very impressed with the play of the rookie 2nd-round pick out of Florida State. They're going to put more on his plate with the loss of Aldon Smith. They want him to come off the edge a little bit more and rush the quarterback than he's done in the past. Stafford hit as he throws, and it's broken up. Ben Heaney got a hand on that one, and the pressure was coming from Khalil Mack.
Well, Jack Del Rio told us that he felt as an opposing coach that the Lions were allowing their quarterback to get hit way too often. So he said, yeah, we want to keep that same tendency happening today. Khalil Mack, you see his athletic ability. And right there, Heaney. That actually could have been a little contact down the field. Heaney in the bump the receiver 10, 12 yards down the field.
Yeah, not called. 3rd down and 10.
Hey, Eagle!
Stafford in trouble again, steps up, and he can't get away from Taylor Mays. Mays brings him down. It brings up 4th down for Detroit.
Well, you're going to see a lot of pressure coming. They're bringing all kinds of heat on Stafford. You know the 4 down guys are coming. Now they bring some extra pressure, and if that first read's not there, he's feeling the heat and getting out of there. He doesn't go to his second progression at all. He tucks it and runs, and that's a sign of a guy who's been chased around a little bit during the season.
4-3 out today by Detroit. When they started that drive, there was 9:01 remaining, so they take off less than a minute of the clock as Amari Cooper goes back to field. This one and tripped up at the 20. A flag comes in. It was Corey Fuller who made the tackle.
There's going to be a block in the back by the Raiders return team.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 31. Penalties half the distance to the goal line from the spot of foul. 1st down, Oakland.
Penalties on Nico Thorpe. Oakland down by 3. Thursday, December 3rd, your weekend starts here. Big rivalry game in the NFC North. The Packers and the Lions. Thursday night football only on CBS and NFL Network. Oakland will start this drive for its own 8-yard line. They trail by 3 with 8:01 to go. Carr in his own end zone. A flag is down, and that pass is incomplete. Now a second flag comes in. Could be holding in the end zone, which would be a safety.
It is a safety.
It is a safety. They've got to call it. Both flags are in the end zone.
No, the second flag is at the 12-yard line.
Well, there's 2 flags in the end zone.
Both referees threw the flag in the end zone as well. It should be a safety. It was clearly a tackle in the end zone that didn't need to be made because Derek Carr was bootlegged.
Yeah, well, there could be a penalty in the secondary as well.
But that one
That's
won't
what
matter.
I'm saying. Flags at the 12 could offset.
Oh, if it's against Detroit, that's true. Good point, Andrew. Thank you.
Big call here.
Holding, offense, number 88. The penalty occurred in the field of play, so we're going to go half the distance to the goal line. Replay, 1st down.
Wow, Walford, they're saying, was not in the end zone at the point of the hold.
Well, right. Okay, well, there it is. It starts outside the end zone, ends up in the end zone, obviously.
That's a good call.
The contact was made outside the end zone. Yeah, now what about the other penalty that was thrown in the defensive backfield? Because that referee in the defensive backfield would not be calling the holding in the end zone.
Completely agree, and they only announced 1 penalty. It's 1st and 14, back at the 4-yard line. Carr, quick pass and another drop by Amari Cooper. His 2nd drop today, and he still only had 1 catch. Let's go back to that previous penalty. We bring in our officiating expert, Mike Carey, back in New York. Mike, what did you see there?
Yes, Andrew, the rule is if the restriction starts in the field of play, the foul is enforced in the field of play. The grab on the shoulder and the restriction clearly starts back early before the end zone. A good call on the field.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. 2nd and 14 following the Cooper drop. Carr, quick slant, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for Crabtree's 3rd down.
Yeah, this is the kind of spot where the Oakland Raiders this year have shown a lot of progress. Even though we've had 2 incompletes, and actually that was a bad, tough catch there by Crabtree, but the Amari Cooper drop, this is where these young players have actually been coming through more often than not. David Carr, Amari Cooper, also Clive Walford. I mean, they've got some young guys that they've been depending on. This is a spot where they've either been coming through and they've played their best. We'll see if they can continue that, because this is a tough spot.
3rd down and 14. Carr, halftime, throws underneath to Rivera. Rivera at the 10, tackled by Diggs at the 12, well short of a first down, but there's now a flag down in the end zone.
This is going to go against the Raiders, it looks like. Donald Penn is
furious,
livid with the official.
Holding, offense number 72. The penalty occurred in the end zone, therefore by rule, it is a safety.
And now we have a safety.
And Ziggy Ansah, you can thank, the Lions can thank the speed rush of Ziggy Ansah on the outside against Donald Penn for getting that call and that 2 points.
Donald Penn at the top of screen there. Ziggy Ansah just bull rushes him now. It's that, yeah, he takes him to the ground. No doubt about it. That Donald Penn can argue all he wants. He's got him wrapped up under the neck and then takes him to the ground. Ziggy Ansah, so he knows it's a safety. He's only been playing football about 5 years, but he knows that's a safety. That's for sure.
He didn't even have to see the flag thrown. That flag was thrown behind him, and he knew it was safety.
Donald Penn still doesn't like it, but that's a pretty easy call for the officials. You see that hand up under the neck and you take him to the ground.
Oakland came into the game just 5 holding penalties on offense. Penn's holding here cost them 2 points, and now the Lions will get the ball back with 7:30 to go. There's a smile from Ziggy Ansah. When he was drafted 3 years ago, it was Barry Sanders who announced the pick on the podium, and one of his friends said, "Wow, that's so cool. Barry Sanders announced that you're going to the Lions." And his first response, "Who's Barry Sanders?" He has no basis of NFL history because he was born in Ghana and lived there until he was 19. When we met with him on Friday, he said, "Whenever I can, I try to watch those documentaries on NFL Network to see if I can try to learn some things." It's important to know Barry Sanders when you're here in Detroit.
Yes.
Golden Tate on the return, dancing his way up to the 30-yard line. Now, Ansah was kind of quiet in the first half. He's made his presence felt here in the second half.
Well, you see it right there. It comes up and the arm is clear around the neck. That's all it takes. Ziggy Ansah is an incredibly bright guy. He speaks 4 languages, and that's a good play for the Lions in any language.
8 sacks for Ansah this season. And now let's see if the Lions can take advantage. Putting 2 on the board, getting the ball back with 7:23 to go. It's Riddick on the carry, and he gets a couple. This is where it's interesting for Detroit guys because they want to milk the clock as much as possible, but they're the worst rushing football team in the NFL.
Well, one of the things that gave them the victory last week is because they stayed aggressive late in the game against Green Bay in Lambeau. They didn't take their foot off the gas. They didn't try and milk the clock. They went after them, and it ended up in a victory, and I think they'd be well served to make sure they just keep running their offense. Don't take your foot off the gas.
But ideally, you like to be able to run the ball, run some time off the clock, but you're not having, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
They throw here to Tate. And Tate picks up a first down for the Lions.
That's a smart play.
It is, but getting out of bounds is not a smart play.
Well, for a first down, you can give up the stoppage.
That's right.
And I think it's a great, easy completion. Get the ball to Golden Tate. He's a great runner after the catch, can break tackles, maybe make something happen like they did, get the first down, and they get a chance to huddle up and start again. But I reiterate, Staff's going to have to throw the football in the remaining 6 minutes of this game for them to be successful. Don't shy away from it.
Golden Tate has matched his season high with his 8th catch. They take the play clock down to 2. Riddick trying to the outside. Khalil Mack throws him to the ground.
Mack once again showing his speed. Back got outside of him, and he just turned his hips and ran as the back tried to string it out to the sideline. Mack ran him down.
Well, Steve, your point is well taken as far as the fact that they do not have the ability to run the football consistently, it's going to be those short screen type of passes, the ones that are sure completions that Jim Bob Cooter and Jim Caldwell are going to have to go to and rely on.
7 tackles today by Khalil Mack. It's 2nd and 10. Stafford screen pass to Riddick. He's got some room. Riddick off to the races. Riddick inside the 40. TJ Carey finally caught up with him, but a gain of 21.
Well, Riddick right here is going to come across the formation, and that's well set up. It was a very fast screen. Didn't have to look around. The defensive lineman didn't really get a chance to understand it. It was a screen fast because it was a real quick developing.
Well, what's going to happen here, you're going to see Riddick slip through the outside, and what Matt Stafford's going to do is going to dump the ball over the top, and you're going to see as he catches the ball, the vision that he's got in front of him, nothing. Got an offensive lineman out in front. Big play for the Detroit Lions.
Lions creeping into field goal range. That has to be Oakland's focus defensively. Riddick again. And again, it's Mack on the tackle.
Now they should run left away from 52.
The interesting thing is that the Lions today in their running game have tried to ride Amir Abdullah, which hasn't been the case. He's got 10 carries to lead the team, but he's the guy that's fumbled 4 times. So in the 4th quarter, they don't want to give it to Abdullah. They're still trying to gain confidence in the rookie. So it's Riddick that we've seen prominently in the backfield. Joik Bell today only has 3 carries for 5 yards. Inside 4 minutes to go. Raiders have 2 timeouts remaining. Stafford over the middle. It's caught for a first down. And guess who? Theo Riddick. He has been the man on this drive.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Riddick coming into this game is the 2nd leading receiver on the team, the running back. So they throw the football effectively. Matt Stafford throws it effectively. It's been their only effective offensive weapon. So if he's on the field catching all these passes, it makes sense that they're also going to be out there and they can hand it to him as well.
He was lined up on Malcolm Smith, the linebacker. They like that matchup. A linebacker trying to cover one of their very best receivers.
So a fresh set of downs. Clock continues to tick. Oakland has to start thinking about timeouts. They give it to Abdullah up the middle, and Abdullah picks up 8 yards. Oakland now will call timeout. Tonight, how prepared are we for a terror strike? Find out how big American cities are planning to protect themselves tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS. And now Oakland only with the 1 timeout remaining, 2:59 to go.
Yeah, Jack Del Rio looking at all the different variables here. If you can hold Detroit to a field goal, that still keeps it a 1-score ball game with a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. So he wants to try and make the stop here on 2nd and 3rd down, give his offense the football back with a little bit more than 2 minutes to go, and a touchdown, 2-point conversion to tie it up.
That last carry was a big vote of confidence for the rookie Abdullah, who they have not trusted with ball security. He got the call, and he's in again on 2nd and 3.
He had ball wrapped up like the middle of a cinnamon roll on that carry as well.
That sounds good. Abdullah inside the 20, but short of first down. Jack Del Rio calls his final timeout. It'll be 3rd and short, and 2:53 remains.
This is the 32nd timeout.
All right, I'll put you in the shoes of offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter. What are you doing here on 3rd down if you're the Lions?
I don't put it in the air. No. You're inside of 3 minutes now. It's a much different scenario than it was when they first started this drive, when they had over 6 minutes to go. Now they're going to run this football, go to their best play. Maybe I would think some misdirection away from Khalil Mack.
I agree they should run the ball here, but what I know for a fact is that the Raiders are going to play single safety, bump coverage on the outside. You got Megatron one-on-one on the outside. You may want to take a shot over the top, see if Big Boy can go up and make a play. He's at the top of your screen. One-on-one bump coverage. Now Woodson is favoring that side a little bit.
Joik Bell, the running back. 3rd down, Bell puts his head down and spins away for a first. 2nd effort from Joik Bell to move the chains.
What a super effort from Joik Bell. The Raiders had him stopped short of the first down. That initial contact right there.
Nate Allen.
By Nate Allen. Got to make that tackle. Force Detroit to kick the field goal. Now it's elementary.
They have to run one play before the 2-minute warning, but Oakland does not have any timeouts left. Bell again. Allen and Carey on the tackle, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be second down when we come back. The Lions trying to cling and hold on to a 5-point lead. Joik Bell, a big run, but it's not over yet in Detroit. Coming up in the Subway postgame show, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Howard, all the latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Subway postgame show. A first down would end the game, and Joik Bell has first down, and he doesn't get in. That is brilliant. Couldn't have gotten any better for the Lions. They can take a knee and win the game. If he got in the end zone, Oakland would have had a chance to get the ball back. He gets the first, doesn't get in, and the Lions are going to win their second straight game.
Now, had he scored, the Raiders would have been 2 scores down anyway, but you're right. This ends the game. Now, that was a smart play by Joik Bell. If he indeed was going down on his own, looked like he may have been thinking about it.
Matthew Stafford can take a knee. And the Lions will put together back-to-back wins for the first time this season.
Just a devastating loss for the Raiders, though, to come in here on a 2-game losing streak. They lost the overtime game to Pittsburgh 3 weeks ago. They come out, or actually 2 weeks ago. Then last week they have the tough loss to the Minnesota Vikings. You got to find a way to get back on the right track, and you lose to a 2-7 Detroit team in a game where you really had a chance to win. Just didn't show up to play. The first half, I think they played uninspired, and it came back and haunted them late in the game.
You're right. And then Jim Caldwell on the other side of the field. They've won 3 out of their last 5 after starting 0-5. And it seemed to be a little different here in Detroit. But Oakland, this is what was at stake. I mean, they had a chance to get right in the thick of the wild card race. And you see there, that just drops them a little bit further down that list.
Third straight loss for the Raiders. And Jim Caldwell now puts together back-to-back wins, and they'll go into their annual Thanksgiving Day game against the Eagles on a high note with 2 straight wins, and then the Packers to follow on the following Thursday night. More to come here from Detroit, where the Lions win 18-13.